Nigeria host to where we forget to always love. And of course, this morning will not be another fantastic conversation and discussion. Akinyosoye. And of course, this morning, part of different actions and different steps being taken by the new administrations from some set of groups and all of that is what we'll be looking into this morning. You will recall that reaction to the step taken with issues to cushion the of the minimum wage from reacting to the actualization. MEFC saddled with including the president, the vice president, legislators, and the holders of the offices mentioned in the section 84 and 124 of the Constitution amended, and that is in the salaries of elected public officials, the federal and state legislators, governors, as well as judicial officials and officers. And these definitely require reactions from the public, who expected that revenue and other different actions that have been taken from DeFi to how actions to be taken long overdue, adding that the last time the affected public officials' salaries were increased was 16 years ago. And likewise, like I earlier mentioned, they are demanding an increase in the national minimum wage from 30,000 naira to 200,000 naira. Now, how realistic could this be? How can the new administration the criteria to be considered? What are the provisions that should be made by the new administration to consider this? Actually, during the meeting, the last meeting from the Labour Congress, and of course, they are still, still on the matter, coming up with the result of praise. While some quarters have argued that how fair would this be on an average Nigerian, and of which where our economic situation or current situation or on a debt profile of the country. Can we go ahead to approve? Of course, the federal government had, disapproved,
my prayer,
the
also notion to an opposer,
yes,
by the, agitating on this really, generated, and looking at it, it was executed, appointed office orders. So it's away from that.
Okay. Okay.
With the challenges that our so-called country is faced with.
There should be review at some particular time, over the administration. So would you say it's out of like coming to, just remind us that there is still a part of the Constitution that says it should be reviewed as the normal thing to do, according to if you want to say, okay, we've done this, the last time we did this was 16 years ago. We are supposed to have done it, or we can just come up with it, maybe remind the administration.
Yeah. Responsibility from them. That at this present, I think it's not, an approval from him. Office order should benefit of battling with a mover. The ripple effects, daily activities is, embedded in the consumption of these PMS. Now, just actors of the maritime sector, the Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN, and the Nigeria Customs Service, the end of 40% review it is. And that is to let you know the remover. Now, you want to, the exchange rates to that of the maritime sector. And the major stakeholders of that sector, policy implementation, and the free executives, and also the importers, they came together and said, oh no, the rip up, lost for our people, privileged to where you'll be pushed to the floor. Now tell me, do you know how many, parents of that sector? Now, if that policy is being implemented, it means the importers will have to, reduce the right time to come up with those policy implementation. Well, although it's disco companies are also proposing
40% increase, and they gave an update this morning.
this is happening in this country, and this is it is high time, Mr. President rose up to occasion to office holders in these commissions or agencies to come, call a roundtable meeting, a discussion. You people should, find a way of, or the agency, okay. For a case study, the Nigerian Customs Service, it's actually one of the revenue, generation, agents. Yet the right time, if there's going to be stakeholders in these sectors to around, ways to mitigate your actors, the Nigerian Customs Service said from 422 naira 30 kobo per dollar. That was the import duties. Now it's going to be increased. Now tell me, the devaluation of naira to dollar, what does it? Away from that, fine. But it's a matter of all living on Yabo. Can schedule any subsidy removal borders on all Nigerians. It cuts across all strata of the economy. So really,
all right. Part of the and even the Labour Congress coming up administration to cut down cost of governance. Now let's look at this. The clamor by the commission on increment in salaries of public office holders, the president, and all of that, and the clamor for cutting down the cost of governance. How do you think we can manage or alter where it's
in Nigeria today, or better said, that it is endemic in the system. Never
would be difficult to be
on a daily basis. Initially 3 for 15 naira. They say it's .com at a point where we say we have fair sharing. It is when the masses faced with today remuneration. If you have to sensitize NOA. I think they to him or her. Look at the way energy between you or amongst the agencies of the federal government, and let's see how we could find a way we could cushion the as a public office holder. When you work, definitely you must get paid, and no one will be happy if such his or her salary is being downsized. It's not going to all go well. And if we are not, let's call a spade a spade.
But don't you think there are some compromise that we should make?
Away from that.
Okay.
The minimum they are agitating to 200,000 naira as a minimum wage for a Nigerian or a government worker in Nigeria. Now,
but according to them, they said it's to increase.
I have a complaint. Do I have that financial strength?
Exactly questions people are asking.
You understand? It will only affect the small scale, right to always, ask for, salary increase or increment as it were, because of the economic effect. So away from that, an average government worker, the normal commodities, out of the increment in exchange of, devaluation of naira. Now, how do we go around this? Like he would always say, I will eat the ground running. It's a good move for removing it, because some few minorities cannot just be somewhere.
Few
Fuel all did for is for Mr. President or the federal government to look for a way around to really complement the efforts of those agencies. And if Mr. President can come up with a committee to look for ways what in the, making, I wouldn't want to run at loss. That's why we're also calling on our investors to look inward this time. This is when they can actually, put in their resolve problems in this country. Go to any countries of the world where we have, successful business conglomerates or mogul that will come in support, in bringing their resources to support the activities of the government in, creating a together. I was thinking, or I heard that a Salah, break, there is a discussion come. The government alone, to the table. Let's look for ways we can improve the economy of our country to making life more,
the increment or proposal by coming up with our 114 vice president, governors, as well as judicial officers. And I still have with me Honorable right here. Quickly, because of our time, let this just, part of the fallout of this, more of our revenue that we are even clamoring for is too low. We be used to service and pay salaries, and which, according to the financial sector, that used to pay salaries, or the larger percentage to service or to pay salaries, so to say, and of which we'll, if there is no more revenue, we'll borrow to DMO, according to the DMO as of course the number will hold of money we are owing a day. How we can manage our debt profile and stop borrowing. I was seeing a report, an advice to state government, to the government, and whatever service they want to, or how they want to utilize it. How do you think we can, just help ourselves, or this administration?
It is a fact that can never be in having a striving or a sustainable business success. Business, mentors or teachers or speakers will recommend OPM. It's just coming up. And what do we call run the business activities of your organization? So which means we cannot take away borrowing in advancing those debts we are talking about, rightfully utilized. The good debt, the bad debt, it's a debt that is incurred for frivolities. That is incurred, to have a burial being, organized. You are borrowing to go for shopping, to go for vacation.
Borrowing for expense.
The good debt, these are debts that you incur in the business daily activities running of the organization. Dangote, the just inaugurated Dangote refinery in Lagos. That project cost $90 billion US. Where would you think Dangote will get the money from? It's from borrowing. But the thing is this: when you are borrowing money, when you are borrowing money to execute capital, but when it has come to, we say Nigeria is not working. It has so today, if it will add this and it will be 70 something. The execution of this, the execution of the money we are talking, to my considered opinion, I would say no. We could see that on infrastructure, I personally will give it to you. We could see the rail. Would those infrastructure, the answer is capital yes. That's what we are saying. If we are borrowing to execute projects that would in few having this facility, we are good to go.
Quickly,
patient.
And Periscope. Really appreciate.
Anytime.
Of course, thank you so much once again. Don't forget to follow us on all our social media platforms: Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube channel at Al-IyamoyeTv. Notify you when